how to take your first trade. If you haven't already, then today is the day. We're not pushing this off. We're not going to go through a whole bunch of different theories, or we want you to make sure that you know how to take a trade, because the upcoming sessions are going to teach you the technicals, the what to look for, how to read a chart, how does Mike trade in the morning? Like, how do I know if I even want to get into a trade? What is my trading plan? We can't go through all that stuff without literally showing you how to take a trade so that you can actually do it. Long gone are the days where we are thinking about trading. These are the days where we are trading. That is a verb and in present tense, because we're not pushing this off to the side anymore. If anyone is here that is like been tiptoeing their way in, no, this is it, girl. So let's get it done. Okay, so what's needed to participate in trading anyway? One, you need a trading platform. We're going to be using Tradovate for today, but there are other trading platforms that you are probably likely to come across or use in the future. But for simplicity's sake, we're using Tradovate today. Two, you need a broker. This could be a self-funded broker. You can also use something called a prop firm, which is using other people's money. That is going to be a conversation for a different day as well. Three, you need money. Takes money to make money. That's just the way it is. Yeah. Even with the prop firm, when you are using other people's money, you still need to pay for the access to that money, right? So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Number four, you need a strategy. We need to know why it is that we're getting into something so that it's duplicatable, something that we can repeat time after time after time, get some data so that we know that it works, and then continue to do so if it does work, or make some adjustments if we notice that it's not working and that we're not making money. B, an exit strategy, same thing. C, a trade management strategy, goes along same lines. And I would add here risk profile. So everyone here could be a little bit different. Some of us here are a little bit riskier than others. I would consider myself a super conservative trader, meaning I don't put a lot on the line. There are other people that do. So just know your personality. You know yourself better than anyone. Just know if we were to put a spectrum from super conservative to really risky, where do you fall on that spectrum? Know yourself. And I'd encourage you, actually, let's do this as an activity, 1 to 5. 1 being really conservative and 5 being we're balling out every single time, risky. Where do you fall? I would say I'm a 2, between a 2 and a 3. Because I understand like there's no avoiding risk in life, and that's not my objective ever, but I do take calculated risk. If it's not worth my time, money, energy, effort, it's just not worth it, right? So it's all about taking calculated risk instead of avoiding risk. So let me know here in the chat. Shelby said a 2.2, Noah a 2, Ty a 3, David a 3. Tay said between a 3 or a 4, and Caleb said a 4. Awesome. So we have a little bit of everyone in here. Like nobody said a 1 and nobody said a 5. So we're not married to one side or the other, which is nice because that means that we are open-minded to the other side of the mirror, the other side of the same coin. Awesome. We need a journal. This could be a physical journal. It could be a digital journal. I do find that a digital journal works best with trading as much. I'm very much a pen to paper type of girl. But when it comes to trading, it's just easier to do things digitally. So you can create your own. We have one as well in our store, but all that really needs to show is like, what are you doing? What's the before? What's the after? And a little bit of reflection. It doesn't need to be too complicated. You can build on it as you go, as you develop yourself as a trader. But for the sake of building the habit, keep it really simple in the beginning. Okay, so in case anyone doesn't really understand the terminology, here's a really basic visualization of how these things work. We have a broker. A broker is essentially the platform in which you're investing with. So think of it kind of like a reservoir, kind of like a bank that connects you to the market. The platform is going to be how it connects you to the market. And then, of course, we have the user, you and I. So I had a little analogy here in case I would forget one. But the same way that stores use Shopify to do business with their customers, brokers use a platform to do business with their customers. So you need a broker, you need a platform, and obviously you're the user. All right. So this is where you open up another tab. We're doing this together. Tradovate.com. Again, this is the platform that we're using. And on the top right corner, there's going to be a lime green button that says open account, because I'm assuming that a lot of you don't have an account with them already. So let's open one. If you do have an account with them already, then let's just log in. And give me a 1 in the chat once that is done. I'm not going to wait for everyone, but it should be relatively simple to do it. So give me a 9, because we put numbers in here before. So give me a 9 in the chat once you have opened an account. And you can do so with just your regular email. You can log in through Gmail. Like, this isn't your first time signing up for something, so you guys know the drill. Then you're gonna get to a page. Oh, I think it's gonna ask you to sign your life away. I'm just kidding. But it's gonna ask you to check out the terms and conditions. You can go ahead and read that. You can put it in your AI. You can do what you want with that. Once you click that box and you click on the following button, which I think says create account, it's going to take you to this page. And on this page, we're going to go down here to where it says not ready for live trading. Try a risk-free simulated trading. And there, let me get a couple more and we'll move on. I just want to make sure that you actually do this, because if not, then the next 25 minutes are going to be kind of useless. Beautiful. Okay, so let's move forward. On this page, click not ready to live trade. Try the risk-free simulator. All right. And then you get a beautiful screen that looks like this. And I feel, from personal experience, I feel like a screen like this is what turns a lot of people off to trading, because it looks so complicated. There's a lot going on. And if you don't know what any of these things are, even if you do know what these things are, it seems overwhelming. So this is like when whenever you type in like trading inspo on Canva or Pinterest or even Google or what have you, it's usually like chaotic screens like this. And I'm not for it. I like a clean chart. I like simplicity. Less is definitely more for me. That's what works for me. Don't got to overcomplicate it. It goes with my trading plan. So I'm going to show you how to clean this up a little bit and what these things mean. Okay. Give me an 8 in the chat if we're on the same page, if we see this chaotic thing happening. 8, beautiful. Okay, so left-hand side is going to be some orders. What you can do, because I don't use that, like you don't need to know how many positions are being put into the S&P 500 at any given moment in the day. So we're going to go onto this gray box where it's circled and just click the X. It's going to ask you if you're sure. Go ahead and click you're sure. Like I mentioned, you don't need it. If you really want it, if your strategy depends on it, we can come back to it later. But to simplify this whole thing, let's get it out the way. That's number 1. Number 2 is we have this box down here at the very bottom that gives you a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gives you a few assets and like a lot of information on them. This is going to be up to you if you want to keep it or not. I don't think that we need it, but it does give you the most recent price. So if you want to keep it there, have at it. If not, you can also click that little X at the bottom. While we're here, before I forget, I should say, notice next to the asset tickers, that's what these random letters are. They're not random, of course. ES stands for S&P 500 or represents the S&P 500. H is the contract time. And then there's this gray dot. That, who can tell me what that means? The gray dot. Any guesses? Mm-hmm. Exactly. The gray dot represents that the market is currently closed. Exactly, beautiful. So we can't trade this right now. We see the gray dot. Once tomorrow morning comes around, when the S&P 500 is in, when the market is in session, I should say, then we will see a green dot. So for the time being, market's closed. We can't really take a trade on this. Okay, so we went over this one. Now that should be out of the way. We went over this one. We can also take that out of the way. Then we're left with two charts and a whole lot going on with them. So I mentioned that the letters are the ticker of the asset. The asset is whatever you're trading. If you're trading the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, Dow Jones 30, a currency. Okay, point being is you don't have to memorize these. While we're here, I'm going to segue you to we're going to take a quick segue. We're going to open up another tab. Hey, let me out of here. Okay, we're going to open up another tab. We're going to go to Tradotopia.store. I got to learn how to spell my own store. Okay, Tradotopia.store. And you're going to go to resources. Under resources, there's a futures contract cheat sheet for the free. So go ahead and download that, buy it, but it's not going to charge you anything. Go ahead and download that. That is so that you'll have a sheet of all the assets and their ticker, and you'll also have their contracts. The contracts will come later. We'll do that in a different session. But just so you have it, you can print it out if you want. What I encourage some people to do is to create a binder. I'm looking at mine over there. I'm not going to get up for it. But create a binder, have all this information in there. That way you're taking it seriously, right? Like if you're not taking notes and you're not taking action, I don't know what you're doing. You're wasting time. So take some notes, take some action, download what you can. We have a whole bunch of different free resources, Stocks Made Simple, the Sniper Guide, the Crypto Made Simple, a Wyckoff workbook. Like go use them. We have them there for a reason. Okay. Getting back to this chaotic page. We have the ticker. We also have time frames. Time frames are the perspective from which you're viewing the market. So if we are looking at the 5-minute time frame, each candlestick, each rectangle represents 5 minutes worth of information. If we're looking at the 15-minute time frame, each candlestick represents 15 minutes worth of information. If we're looking at the 4-hour, guess what? It represents 4 hours worth of information. Each candlestick, not the entire chart, but each candlestick on that chart. Okay. So we have time frames, we have tickers, we have the last price here, the bid and the ask. We'll get into those a little bit later. For this exercise, we are cleaning things up. So now you probably see this gray box on the left-hand chart. Click that X. We don't need it out the way. We're trying to eliminate as much as possible so that we're stuck with like the bare bones of what we actually need. We can add things later. We can add our sazones later. For now, bare bones. Don't deviate. And then we're also going to double click on the RSI, which is this yellow heart rate monitor looking thing. You can double click on that and then you can exit out of that as well. Another way to do it, actually, let me just move over to my actual thingy. Okay, so now it should start to look like this. Another way to do it is going to this, like the little settings thingy next to it. And we have our elements on here. So we can delete the RSI, delete the SA, and delete the Bollinger Band. Okay, now we're starting to look a little bit cleaner. What we can also do here, go to settings, then we're going to go to price levels. Settings, sorry, chart settings, price levels, and we're going to hide all. Awesome. So now your chart should look more or less like this. Or your screen should look more or less like this. At the bottom of the charts, if you hover over that first line, that divider, you can adjust so that you can see a little bit of more of the charts. So I think I was up there. I just made it a little bit bigger. I just brought it down. Last week we were using TradingView. TradingView is an interface that it shows you the data without connecting to a broker and without being a platform. Like you can trade on TradingView, but at least it's not letting me create a demo on TradingView. So I don't know if anyone else wants to try. And I can show you what that looks like as well. It's been a while since it hasn't let me do it. So quick segue. But go to tradingview.com. And then at the very bottom where it says trading panel, then it goes trade with your broker, paper trading. It hasn't let me create a demo account here for like over a year at least. So maybe you guys have better luck, but to me, it just has been giving me this error for like ever. So let me know if anyone can do that, but that's why we're not doing the demo account on TradingView. You can do that, or you could in the past, but I currently can't. So Tradovate is it. It is. Thanks. Okay, cool. Okay, and then here at the bottom are going to be your actual positions. So we have two charts and positions. We've simplified it a lot already. Now let's just practice looking up an asset. So let's go to the top left ticker. I think yours says something different. I don't remember what it is, but let's type in MNQ. And you're gonna have multiple options. So with these options, we're going to click the one that says H because that is the current contract. And the cool thing about being in this community is that when that contract changes, Mike will let you know, or someone in the community will let you know. Usually Seth, he'll drop it in the chats. You'll also be prompted. So you'll get a message saying, would you like to, I think it says roll over or switch over to your contract? You'll get that option. So don't worry about having to like always checking when it expires and stuff. Like you will be prompted to, and there will be reminders in the chats as well. Okay, so type in MNQ and let's have that on the left. And then with our second chart, let's go and type in MYM. So YM is the abbreviation for Dow Jones, the top 30 stock, an index of the top 30 stocks in the US. The M, whenever you see an M in front of something, that just means it's a micro contract. We use I think I'm getting ahead of myself here, but you guys got it. Whenever you see an M in front of a ticker, that means it's a micro. And a micro basically breaks down the contracts by a lot. I think it's like 100 or something. So that allows people that have less of an account balance to be able to participate. Otherwise, we would need a good amount of cash in that balance to be able to take the trades. So if you're trying to take a trade and it says something along the lines of like not enough margin or not enough capital, then try going to the micro version of that same asset and you should be good to go. For the most part, there are some assets that even micros, you need a lot of capital. For example, silver. Silver is one of those assets that is super volatile and you need a lot. Well, you need more than others to be able to participate and take some positions on that. Okay, so now we have MYMH. We can click on that. And now we have two charts in front of us. And notice how we have the 5M on NQ and we have the 1H on MYM. So what we want to do is we actually want to have them line up in time frames. The reason being is, here's the thing, you actually don't need two screens. You definitely don't need more than one monitor. I don't have more than one monitor. I've been doing this since 2018. Mike has two monitors, his laptop and a monitor. You might see like the people that have like 4, 5, 6 monitors in front of them. This isn't the CME. Like, we are not at the Chicago Board of Trade. You don't need all those monitors. One is good enough. Actually, for the first like 4 years, I think I only had like a $200 or $300 laptop. So you don't need anything fancy to participate in this. One screen, one monitor, and one chart is more than enough. If you want to have this side by side, that helps when it comes to correlation. So we will be going over correlation in the upcoming weeks. So I like to have them there because I like to look at both of them. But you don't need to. If you want to exit out of a screen and just have one chart in front of you, you can definitely do that. But 5M means that we are on the 5-minute time frame. 1H means that we are on the 1-hour time frame. We want them to match. What am I missing? We didn't go over the status bar. So obviously we have the time here. We want this to say our local time. So if you're using a VPN, then it's obviously not going to tell you your actual local time. It'll tell you the VPN that whatever you're using. You don't need to use a VPN for this. For those of you that don't know what a VPN is, it's basically a software that shows, like, your computer shows up at a different part of the world. People do that for different reasons. I'm just saying you don't need it. Anyway, make sure that this is your actual local time. This is our demo account. This is the amount that we have in our demo account. The open P&L is going to be profits and losses. So that's going to be a floating P&L. Floating P&L means that it's live. Like, it's moving up and down as your active trades are fluctuating. A realized P&L is going to be, you've already closed these positions. These profits and losses are locked in. They're not fluctuating anymore because the positions are closed. So we have our floating P&L here. And then we have our day margin, our initial margin percentages. What else? Where's the settings? Is it here? Application settings. This is where you can go into that light mode, dark mode type of thing. You can modify your balance. You can give this demo account a little nickname like demo 1. If you wanted to like set an objective or a goal before starting your live account, then maybe you set your nickname to that. Let's say that you want to take 50 trades demo before you even consider opening a live account. That's not an entirely bad idea. I think that's a good idea. So you can nickname it something like that. And what else? Profile preferences. Here's where you can change between light and dark. I'm thinking if we have anything else. This is a free trial, so we have 14 days to use this, and then I think you're gonna have to create another one. Yeah, that's just about it there. Honestly, I don't use anything on the right-hand side. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So let's go over to, let's change the ticker to be MCL. So this is the micro version of crude oil. Hello. There we go. And I believe I am missing a line here. So I'm going to go back to chart settings. Where are you? Price levels. That's not it. New. Okay, I just wanted to show me the live price. Where are you? It should be in this line thingy. Okay, I will figure that out and get back to you guys. Am I tripping? I don't care for the open price. That seems silly to have. Well, for me anyway. Okay, I will figure out how to put this line back over here. I basically want to have the price of like right now. You see how the candle is currently printing? I like so that it shows me like this, what that current price is. So yes, of course, you can hover over and then line it up, but it's just so much simpler when the line is moving. So I think I deleted it and now I want it back. Okay. Okay, for the sake of taking a trade here, we're just going to press this buy market button, and that's it.
Order filled.
So then you'll get this dude, then you get this guy's voice, and you'll see the line of where your order has filled. This number on the right-hand side is your contracts. So if you wanted more, then you would go and press that up. It goes in increments. Depending again on the broker that you're using or the platform that you're using, you're going to use different platforms, but they all have the same gist, if you will. So once you learn one, you'll understand the majority of the others. It just happens, it's just all about like user interface and fluidity, muscle memory of how to use them. So now we have our position. Give me a 7 in the chat if you've taken the position on crude oil. And this was just for funsies. This was just so that you know what it feels like to take an actual position, right? Let's get a little dub in for the day. Even if it's not a winning trade, at least we press some buttons and we're getting ourselves used to it. For those of us that are on the conservative side of the spectrum, sometimes there's a lingering little fear of getting involved in the market. And I'm not sure where it comes from, but use this demo account to be your exposure therapy. There's no, I mean, I understand why people are afraid of getting into the market, but again, we need to get over that, not in a reckless way, but we're building our skill set here. So remember what I said at the beginning, it's all about calculated risk. So let's get good at calculating it. Okay, Noah took his position. A few people in the chat are already doing it. Notice how our equity is going, in this case, down. We're lingering $1. We already have one position here. Okay, so you saw me like scroll on the chart just using my mouse track. To make the chart shorter, then you could just drag this guy here, also using your mouse track. So hover over here to make it tighter or wider, and then hover over here to make it longer or shorter on the price. Okay, let's go into a smaller time frame. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. This is where our buy position is. So notice that we are in profit. Awesome. Now what we can do is we entered, or at least I entered, with one contract, and it was a buy. So if I want to take these $12 home, then all I have to do is sell by market.
Order filled.
So now I sold, I've made $11.44, and notice how my floating P&L went to 0. Why? Because it's no longer floating. I took the position out by canceling it out with the opposite position. So we were in a buy, it went up, we saw profits, and I closed it with a sell. If we were to take a sell and we wanted to take profit on that position, what would I use? Buy, exactly. You cancel or you close out your trade with the opposite position. So buy, if you take a buy, you close it out with a sell. If you take a sell, you close it out with a buy. But you got to make sure that the contracts are the same. So if I had put 2 contracts into my buy, I would have 2 contracts in my sell if I want to close out the entire position. Perfect. Okay. So where would I have used a sell stop? Is if I wanted to wait for a better price. So notice how it's still going up. So those of you that didn't close out, you're getting more profits, right? I'm just learning this. I've only been trading on TradingView with Tradovate. Oh, word. Wait, so you could, oh, are you trading live with on TradingView? Because I couldn't make a paper account, a paper trading account. Great value. Clubs already knows this and he's still here. Thanks. Okay, so now remember our positions are down here. So we took a buy first, and then we took a sell to take profit of that. So let's say that you're someone that only trades once a day. You're going to have 2 positions on that day, the one that entered and the one that exited, right? If you're someone that takes a lot of trades during the day, they're going to double, assuming that you're closing out those positions. All right. While we're here on the 1 minute time frame, and you're watching these candles print and we're just staring at them, which is only slightly more exciting than watching paint dry. If you are getting a little bit antsy and you want it to go your way, and like you might have noticed my little commentary, like, no, don't go that way. I think it's better to catch yourself in the beginning, because if you continue that habit, going into a live account and handling more or actual money is only going to, how do I say aumentar? Like, is only going to add to that feeling. So if you already feel that right now with a demo account, we can either try exposure therapy, just watching us get money taken away, or find a way to like not be in front of the chart looking at the 1 minute time frame all the time. Again, if you're getting stressed out because we're losing some money, this is only demo. Imagine what it's going to be like when it's real. So in this case, if I were to have taken a real position with my real account, then I would just take the position, set my parameters, my stop loss and my take profit, and I would step away. Or I would have, for example, Mike, over here, and I'd be watching what he's looking at instead of just watching those candles print. So that's specifically for the people that they're getting antsy already. So if you don't already follow Mike, give Mike a follow. He goes live Monday through Friday, every single day for about 90 minutes, sometimes close to 2 hours, even though he doesn't admit it. And he's going over the entire market, what he sees. He takes positions live. He'll answer questions live. It's a good time. So feel free to do that. And let's go back over here, see how we're doing. We're not doing so well. So we can let this happen. We can just let it play out or not play out. You can close a position if you really want to. My bad. Buy market.
Order filled.
And now I canceled it out, and you can see that my equity went down because it was in drawdown. It was not going in my favor. Okay, guys, we are at the top of the hour, so I will be sending out my watch list in text form. If you're not in the school, then I don't know how you got to this video, but you should be in the school community over here. And I'll just type out my watch list so that we don't stay here much longer. And I hope you learned a little something, something. And if not, then feel free to ask questions on these sessions in the chat. Also, again, I want you guys to engage. This is for you guys. So I'm not here for my health, I'll tell you that much. Ask questions, engage, do what it is that we're doing real time. That way you don't put it off for later and then it never gets done. We are getting this done by the end of 2026. If you stick with me and you watch Mike in the mornings, I would put my money on it that you're going to be in a completely different place and it would be on the bullish side of things, more confident, more profitable than your current state. So let's get her done. All right, guys, see you tomorrow for New York session. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yes, perfect. All right, see you then.